Joining me now, Republican Governor of New Jersey, Christie. Governor, welcome back to Meet the Press. Congratulations on your re-election.
Thank you, David, very much. Happy to be back.
A lot of speculation this week and a lot of excitement throughout the country with your re-election in terms of what it means. Here's the cover of Time magazine. The elephant in the room is what's on the cover. Even the Trentonian, the front of it, 4 more years or 2 more years as it's crossed out. And there's a speculation that, in fact, you're getting ready to run for the White House. Unless you want to announce on the show this morning, and I suspect you don't, let me ask this question, which is, how do you think, even as governor of New Jersey, that you can affect, that you can impact the Republican Party with this re-election?
I think the best way to impact my party is just to do my job in the same way that I've impacted my state. And I think, David, what you saw from the election results on Tuesday is pretty simple. People want the folks they elect to get the job done, to do their job, get it done for the people who elect you. And that's why, when you look at what happened on Tuesday, it's about what's happened over the last 4 years. 143,000 new private sector jobs, cutting business taxes, controlling property taxes, reforming teacher tenure for the first time in 100 years, and reforming a pension and benefit system to save $120 billion over the next 30 years for taxpayers. It's that kind of record that people were supporting on Tuesday night, and I'm thrilled to get their support, and I'm ready to get back to work.
But whether you like it or not, you've been thrust into a position where you sort of the face of the establishment wing of the party. Ted Cruz is the face of the conservative wing of the party. And the question is, who wins this argument? Mitt Romney told me here last week that you could save the Republican Party. Does it need saving, and are you the guy to save it?
Well, it was very nice of Governor Romney. I watched him on your program last week, and I appreciate his kind words. And I was a proud supporter of Governor Romney, and Mary Pat and I still consider Mitt and Ann very good friends. But listen, I'm not focused on that, David. What I'm focused on is doing my job in the state of New Jersey. That's what I ran for. That's what I want to do. And I think what the election showed was that if you want to attract a majority of the Hispanic vote, if you want to nearly triple your African-American vote as a Republican, what you need to do is show up. You need to show up in those places where, David, I did a town hall in the city of Irvington in my state about 1.5 years ago. I got 4.7% of the vote in Irvington in 2009. I went there, and there were more people in the church where I did the town hall than voted for me in 2009. You go and you show up and you listen, and you start to make your argument about your policies. And I think the results of the election show that that's the kind of engagement that we need as Republicans all across the country, to listen and to show up in places where we haven't gotten a great amount of vote before.
Some of the skeptics would say you ran up a huge margin of victory, so therefore your margin among Latinos and African Americans is going to be higher. And then the head-to-head against a likely candidate, if it comes to this, in Hillary Clinton in New Jersey, according to the exit poll there, shows that you would trail Hillary Clinton even in your own state. Do you view that and say that she is formidable, that you'd be an underdog if it were to come to that?
You know how I view that, David? That I got 61% of the vote in the state of New Jersey, in a blue state that had just re-elected Barack Obama 1 year ago by 17 points. That was nearly a 40-point turnaround between voting for a Democrat at the top of the ticket and voting for a Republican. And, getting 51% of the Hispanic vote, I'm very proud of that, because I've worked hard with the Hispanic community to let them see how our policies can help their families. I've worked hard with the African American community. I've worked hard with seniors and students, and all those people came out and voted in large numbers for us on Tuesday. So people can say whatever they want, but the numbers speak for themselves. I'm proud of it, and it's going to give me a mandate to go back to work for the people of New Jersey and finish the job.
Here's the question. Are you a moderate or are you a conservative? This is how First Read described some of that criticism already coming from the likes of Rand Paul or Marco Rubio. They write this: if Christie does run for president, this exactly the line of attack his Republican rivals will pursue. This guy is not one of us. He's from New Jersey. His state has legalized gay marriage. He's expanded Medicaid, and he's expressed some gun control and pro-immigration reform views.
What's the question?
Are you a moderate or a conservative?
David, listen, I don't get into these labels. That's the Washington, D.C. game and what all those men and women down there play. Look at my record. We're spending less today in 2014 fiscal year than we did in 2008 in real dollars. We've cut business taxes by $2.3 billion, 143,000 new private sector jobs, reformed teacher tenure to put accountability in the classroom for the first time in 100 years, and reformed a pension and health benefits system, an entitlement system in New Jersey to save $120 billion for the taxpayers over the next 30 years. Judge me by my record. That I'm very, very comfortable with. All the labels, that's for the folks down in Washington, D.C., and obviously they love playing that game, but the people of America aren't interested in that game, and I think given the approval ratings in Washington, they've shown that.
And yet the Wall Street Journal about your economic record concluded this in an editorial Wednesday. It's the biggest area of disappointment, failing to improve the state's economy. The state jobless rate is still 8.5%, among the 10 highest in the country. It's true, they write, that he inherited a mess, but Mr. Christie will need a new reform agenda in 2014 to impress national GOP primary voters going into 2016.
Well, we're going to continue to do the job that we've done already, David. We've brought unemployment down 1.5 points. We've created 143,000 new private sector jobs in a state that the Wall Street Journal did admit was an absolute mess, the highest taxed state in America when I got there, and we've improved that situation. But I never said during my re-election campaign that the job was done. If the job was done, I wouldn't run for a second term. Why bother? Just ride off into the sunset. We got a lot of work still to do. We're going to continue to do it. But that's why I asked for a second term in 4 more years, to go and keep at it and lower taxes, continue to control spending, and continue to improve economic opportunity in our state. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
On Obamacare, the president apologized about this bad rollout, about making a promise that wasn't kept about the individual market. Do you think Obamacare is doomed? Do you think the Republican Party has an obligation to make it work at this point?
Listen, I think Obamacare was a mistake, and I've said that right from the beginning. I think it's a failed policy. That's why we did not institute state-based exchanges, and you can see exactly why when you see the disaster that's happening right now. The fact of the matter is the president didn't tell folks the truth about what was going to happen with their own private insurance policies. And what I urged him to do for the last 2 weeks when I've been on the campaign trail is tell people the truth. That's the thing they expect, and I think that's why we've gotten the support we've gotten in New Jersey. Because whether it's good news or bad news, I tell folks in New Jersey the hard truths they need to hear. And even when they disagree with me, David, they've come around to support me because they say at least this guy is looking us in the eye and telling us the truth. I think the president failed that test, unfortunately, on Obamacare, because that's unfortunate for the country. But I never have favored Obamacare. It's a failed policy. We all know that, and the fact is that the president needs to own up to it and tell folks the truth.
All right, Governor Chris Christie, a lot more to come from you, I'm sure, as we move forward. We'll be watching you closely there in New Jersey and beyond. Thank you for your time this morning. I appreciate it.
David, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.